double entry bookkeeping. So maintaining cash books, which I mentioned here, the books or the accounts of the business, right? So we are referring the same thing. So the keyword is actually appearing in the answer. So we try to match as close as to the marking scheme and what's requested by examiner. So in that way, then you'll be quite certain to actually select the right options and the right answer in your exam multiple choice question. Yeah. So another example I would like to show is assets. So these are items owned and used. So I'll highlight the words. Okay, owned by or owe to the business. So I'll give an example. So owned by the business will be like your business premises or buildings, your plant and equipment or machineries, so your inventory or your stocks. Okay, so you have what are the stocks you have? Raw material, the work in progress, finished goods. These are actually very practical. So with my experience as a practitioner in industry, I think it will be helpful because the examiner, actually they're looking at analysis and evaluation. So actually they want to see how are you going to apply the concepts and the terms, right, in real life on the practical side. So we have a trade receivable, or you sometimes call it a trade debtors. Okay, so trade receivable is actually owed to the business, right? So you're going to receive the money. Trade receivable means you're going to receive the money. Is your debtors is owed to the business. So example like cash in hand, cash at bank. So asset also consists of a non-current and current assets. So I'll explain the concept. So this will be followed by the accounting equation, assets equal to owner's equity and the liability. So there's some picture here to show that asset is what you own, and then the liability and the equity is what you owe. So we try to make the as simple as possible with the examples, relate to real life, so that it's easier for you to understand. So as for accounting, it's quite technical. If you can understand the concept, you can apply, then you can understand better. And then what are assets? So these are the specimen questions for the latest syllabus 2020. So I will show here, this actually covering your chapter 1. So your chapter 1. So later on, if you, let's say you are weak in a certain chapters, at least you have time to revise and then to improve. So at least you can actually identify, which are your strengths and weaknesses. So the assets. So what are the assets? So just now that I mentioned is owned by the business, right? Or owed to a business. So for example, will be your trade receivables, or call it a trade debtors. Someone owe you money. Trade receivables, you can think of it as something you're going to receive. Somebody owe to the business, you're going to receive the money. So that's why I call trade receivable. So once you understand all these concepts, so it will be very easy, and then it will be very fast. If not, it will take a lot of time to think and analyze, so you may not have a sufficient time to finish all the 35 multiple choice question. So this is actual past year question, October, November 2019, last year. So you also look at other than testing your knowledge, what is assets, so you'll be tested on your understanding. So you understand how you apply it. So then this will further test your knowledge and understanding which group contain only assets. So here will be B. So these are the example that I've given in my notes. So cash is something that you own. Okay, you own the machinery, plant and machinery that I mentioned in my notes. So rent receivable accrued. So rent receivable is actually other debtors or other receivable. So money that you're going to receive. So it's actually owed to a business. So this falls into the definition of what is an asset. So this is more on the testing your understanding and the application of your knowledge. So here will involve some analysis. Okay, so you look at this, some question will need more time to calculate. So if let's say the easier one, you have 2 minutes, you can finish in 1 minute, so you can save some time for calculation. Yeah, so this one will require some other than the knowledge and understanding. You also need to do some analysis. So here we are actually testing the concept of the accounting equation that I showed just now. So you have assets equal to owners equity plus liability. So actually it's a testing. So you need to know what actually examiner is looking at. So they're looking at actually the concept of the accounting equation. So you have assets here. Once you know what they are testing, you know the concepts. Okay, it's very easy. So you have assets. Is you can pick the figure 75,000. Owner's equity will be your capital plus your profit, okay, minus your drawing. So this is your equity. I put a bracket, and then plus your liabilities. So you rearrange a figure, you'll be able to get the profit. So this will be a simple mathematics. Okay. So you will be able to get the question. So if you do not know the concept, what's the examiner looking for, then you will take a lot of time. Maybe eventually you'll find the answer, but it may take up too much of time. So so the more, then you'll follow by more key concept like a prepaid expenses, accruals. And so once we from the basic, so we go to the more difficult one. So this is a subsequent chapter, which is chapter 4, accounting procedures. So I'll explain the terms, right? It's also known as other receivables. In certain books, you also look at the prepayments. So in real life, when you look at accounts, it can be other receivable prepayments. So actually, they are referring to the same thing. So it actually try to explain the concept whereby expenses paid in the year before the one which they relate. Not related this financial year, is related to next financial year. So I will illustrate the example. Okay. So other than past year question, I will go through examples to actually illustrate the concepts and then to apply the concepts. So and also the questions, normally they'll ask you to prepare entries in the ledger account and also in general ledger. Yeah. So I'll come up with this T account based on the exam format. So you have a balance carried down, you got a balance brought down. So for journal entry purpose, I will also show the double entry. So it will show debit the income statement for the rent. So this is during the financial year, it'll be 30,000. So this is what you transfer to income statement 30,000. Yeah. So for journal entry, so this is a balance sheet, also known as a statement of a financial position. So this is a prepayment. So this is the rental that you prepaid. So you paid the rental for next year. You repaid in one for next year, which is January to June 2020. So this will be 30,000. So this is a 30,000 that you brought down. So this prepaid expenses actually is a debit side of the statement of financial position. So this is this actually. So this is debit, this is debit. So when you make the payment, it's a credit balance sheet. You credit the bank, so you pay 60,000. So for 30,000 for current year, and then 30,000 for next year. Yeah. So from this journal entry, you can actually understand. Even layman can understand, right? So and then for examination required, you need to do a double entry for this journal entry, and you also need to come up with a T account. Okay, this is a T account. So exam-wise, so as I mentioned, the multiple choice question for paper 1 will cover the whole syllabus. Yeah. So they want to test, make sure you don't spot question or skip question, skip certain topics. So you either appear in a paper 1 or paper 2. Most likely it will be either one paper. So we look at this. So when you ask a multiple choice question, so it's not so clear. Okay, so sometimes it's difficult to visualize. So here it says that at the end of the financial year, there will be a debit balance brought down on the office expenses account. So in which section of the statement of financial position, which is your balance sheet, will this be recorded? So the answer is a current assets. So this will be referred to my earlier slide. It's actually referred to the debit your balance sheet, which is your statement of financial position. They are talking about the prepayment and prepaid expense. So this is actually a current assets. So you can't without, so this is without figures, but it's testing your understanding, whether your understanding you know how to apply. So if you refer back to my example, so you know that they are referring to this. Balance brought forward, this is referring to the debit side of the balance sheet item, which is your prepaid expenses. And prepaid expenses is a current asset. Yeah, so this will be the current asset. So this will be a bit indirect, so you need to actually have a very clear understanding of the accounting knowledge and also understanding. Yeah, so this is how I'm going to explain. Yeah, okay. So for the last chapter, as example, so we look at look at the accounting principles and also the policies. So you have a lot of accounting principles, okay, that actually you apply throughout the syllabus, okay. And even you still using the same accounting principle in the A level, even to up to degree. Yeah? So going concern, talk about assumption and continue to operate in the foreseeable future. Yeah? So the specimen paper, we look at the principle. So actually, look the keyword, assumption, assuming, continue to operate foreseeable future. Yeah? Okay. So for paper 2, specimen paper 2, so this will involve more analysis and also evaluation. So here they are referring to a credit. This I refer to a debit of a prepayment. So here they talk about after year end and you require analysis. Yeah. So we will come up with this. So you need to, once you understand concept, you need to draw out the accounts. So like I mentioned, the debit credit actually is here, the red color. Okay, so then after year end, you need to do your calculation. Okay, what's the prepayment for rates and insurance? So I underline here. So this is for next year. So you are going to brought down. So these are the two figures. Yeah, and then these are the marks. Yeah? So it will be more detailed. Yeah, for paper 2, where it involve analysis and evaluation. So for this question, they also have an evaluation part where you need to evaluate and give a reason. Okay, why is it current asset? By both of them are prepayment. And for evaluation, so they also have questions. So I ask you to do an evaluation. What are the advantages? So when you make payment by direct debit, so example, you give example like easier to finance, less impact on cash flow, payment will make automatically, and also disadvantage. Also, you do some evaluation, pro and cons, lose control when you make the payment, and there could be a bank charges. Okay, why should I attend this revision course? Like I mentioned, focus on the knowledge and understanding of the key principle. So we look at the assessment and for examination purpose. So we have a clear, concise, practical notes and explanation. Also try to so that you can complete your question within the time constraint during the exam. So of course we will enhance your ability to analyze and also evaluate, because this will determine whether are you a student. And also value for money, okay, to give a last push to prepare to get an A in accounting. So you look at the analysis, I think it's highly possible to get an A, okay, because about 39% in June 19 they got an A, and about 40%, so roughly about 40%. To get an A plus will be about 10 plus to 20%. So I think with a proper proper preparation, you have a very high chance to get a A. Yeah? So, all right. So I'll pass back to Raymond. So I've attended my, I completed my session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yi. I think it was an excellent sharing session and why you should be signing up for the help revision program. Now, I'd like to share with you this particular record that we have. What we are trying to do here is to show you how you can score A or A star for the accounting paper and the maths paper and the additional maths paper. What we are going to do is that we're going to give you a revision based on the Cambridge course books covering the syllabus, highlighting key concepts and areas and exam techniques. We're going to cover tutorials for the past 5 years from 2015 to 2019, and it's going to include 36 hours of online lessons and 3 hours of tutorials in small groups for final Q&A sessions. There'll be unlimited tutorial support upon subscription until the exams in October to November. And Help University, Help Academy is renowned for its educational excellence, and it was recently awarded a maximum 5-star QS rating for 9 categories in total, making it the only private university in Asia to have these distinctions, and that includes teaching in online learning. How much are we charging for this online revision program? Only 1,250 per course. Now, since there are three subjects there that we are offering, accounting, maths, and additional maths, if you take 2 of the subjects, there will be a 5% rebate. And if you take 3 subjects, all 3 subjects, there will be a 10% rebate. Now, if you'd like to find out anything more about this, please contact our colleague, Mr. David Tai, who shared his information on the chat box earlier. Now, you've heard just now from Dr. Yi on the accounting paper. Now, we'd like to share with you Mr. Sam Locke, the subject specialist for mathematics. Now, Sam, show us what you have. Thank you, Sam. Your mic, Sam? Okay.
Right.
Go ahead.
Sorry, it's not working.
Difficult to share, is it?
Yes. Yes. Please wait.
Never mind. You try again. So meanwhile, let me just explain to you again how this is going to work. The sessions are going to start on the 8th of August for the accounting paper and the 4th of August for the maths paper. And the additional maths paper will start on the 5th of August. They will run roughly for 3 months, August until the early part of October. And like we mentioned earlier, the accounting paper will be run by Dr. Yi. With all his experience, he will definitely help you to score well in the accounting paper. And okay, I think Sam, you're ready now?
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Is it? Let's see.
Yeah, got you on the whiteboard.
Okay. That's
okay.
not I want to say. Share, please. Sorry.
Okay.
There's something is off. Okay, I should put the PowerPoint on full screen. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank Help University to invite me for this project. Okay, so allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sam. Okay, I'm a teacher in one of the international schools. Okay, I've been teaching for 15 years, and I do have experience to actually send a lot of students to various overseas prestigious universities as well. Okay, so today, what exactly is the purpose of this revision preview is to actually help students to prepare themselves for the upcoming October-November examination. But a lot of students were actually curious as well. They are more preferable towards the classical type of lesson, which means face-to-face. But how does this online lessons going to help them actually? So this intensive revision course we will do it in the very online mode, okay, for sure. But we also require students to actually participate in answering the questions and so on and so forth. So, but definitely we will going to let the students know what as the syllabus is actually carrying about. For example, then on the one that I actually show on the screen, okay, for the set topic for mathematics 0580. So students are required to know about the notations, okay, for example, like the end of A, then these symbols over here that look like a small letter E is an element of, okay, it's not an element of, okay, the empty sets, like this one is a subset or proposed subset. Without actually understanding the symbols, or students are unable to actually go for the exam. So this in this intensive revision class, we actually help students to recall back, to help them to recall what are the symbols like and how does it work. Okay, are they going to prepare for? Are they going to ready for the answering exam questions? Okay, so you must be curious about how are we going to do that. Okay. So we're going to teach students on how to read the question. There are some common words that are going to appear in mathematics and additional mathematics. Okay, for example, like calculate. Okay, over here, say work out the given facts, figures, or information generally using a calculator. That means students are allowed to use calculator, but what type of calculator can they use? Construct. Make an accurate drawing. Okay, so students must able to draw the correct constructions of a diagram in their question paper, in their answer script. Okay, so all of these students will actually need to know that the command word is when the question asks you to describe, you are not going to explain. Okay, so describe and explain for most of us in languages is actually sound the same, but actually over here in mathematics it has a specific meaning. Okay, state the point of a topic, given characteristic and main features, explain, set out purposes or reason, or make the relationship between things evidence, provide why and how to support the relevant evidence. So you have to know what are you presenting, but you can't really go for the exam without actually understand all of the words, the meaning of the words. Okay. As I say, okay, students are allowed to use calculator, but what kind of calculator that they will be using? Okay, so on the most left, it's actually 350, okay, so 350. Okay, so although that over here, they are presented all as a casual calculator, but you actually can use other brand as well. Okay, because in Cambridge, their requirement stated, say, okay, you students are not allowed to use graphical calculator. That means you cannot project the graph on your screen, okay, of the calculator. Students cannot use the calculator that can manipulate algebra. So that means if you do algebra calculation, okay, it give you an algebraic answer. Okay, so you can actually do use the integration button or the differentiation button from the calculator, as long as it give you a numeric answer like the one that I actually circle over here. Okay, on the right side of this 570, this version is actually one of the latest version available in the market. Okay, for those students who have maths and both maths and additional maths, I would recommend to use this. Okay, because the 350 won't be enough for you to actually answering the further questions. Okay, and don't forget as well, whatever the calculator that you use, make sure it fulfill your school requirements. Okay, maybe your school will require the students to use a specific type of calculator. Okay, so students, I believe parents and students here will be curious as well. Distant learning, virtual meeting, how are we going to do the lessons? Okay, we are actually all this while been very learning by using classroom. How are we going to do that? Okay, so one of the way that we construct our lessons is by writing on the writing board. Okay, so as you can see, I'm writing as a description, an expression over here, a functions over here, where students maybe need to answer certain questions, or maybe even students want to have a question to ask, how they can actually easily send the question to us using a proper channel after the student actually subscribe to our program. Okay, they subscribe to our program, they can send the questions in. Then on the spot, I can actually answer from here through the whiteboard to show them about what they can do, okay, on how to walk through with them about the way to actually solve the questions. Obviously, over here, I'm just writing, for those who are good in mathematics, I'm writing a very simple expression. What I'm trying to present is just an idea, such as, let's say, log 2x plus log 2 4 equals to log 220. Okay, I do know today's event, we have also live stream via Facebook Live, or maybe any students here who like to solve the question, you can actually solve the question and type on the chat box. Okay, you can type on the chat box. Maybe, okay, Help University would like to give some gift. Oh. Okay, so over here, okay, if you, for those who are will want to solve, okay, this is just a small interaction, as you can see. Okay, so we also have through the within the system, okay, with as long as students actually subscribe for the channel, okay, I can pose a question, students can immediately respond with answers. Okay. Another thing that I will definitely going to go through with students during this intensive revision course is the do and don'ts for your paper. For example, okay, for this question, the plane fly at an average speed of 450 kilometers per hour. It leaves at A at 14:45 and fly directly to B. So work out the time and plane arrive at B. So students actually do the sample. This is sample working over here. Okay. Then students will write as a 3 and 335. 335. So here indicated 4 marks. But the comment over here stated students only score 3 out of 4. I believe for everyone that who are good with mathematics here, if you look at the calculations, there's nothing wrong with it. 335, yes, is the correct answer. But what actually goes wrong? If you read the comment, okay, the candidate has found the time by correctly dividing the distance by the speed and recognize that this is an hour. Okay, but in the end, what students write is 335 is actually indicating without units. Without units. So students should include PM, the time, because the question is asking about at what time. Okay, at what time. So by writing 3M like this, although the students actually score for the working, get the correct answer, but still students are not able to score for full marks, hence they only got 3 out of 4. Okay, there are a lot of good students, around, but most of the time they don't know about the do and don'ts and actually score for a better marks. So in this course, we're going to help them to take care of this, and they definitely need to remember. Okay. After the students actually do the exercises, okay, we are over here, we're going to generate reports, such as the report for within the set and Venn diagram. Okay, what are the items? As you can see, there are items available. Okay, understand the notation of Venn diagram, definition of set, notation, and so on and so forth. Over here is to test students whether Are they capable of understand this this concept items? Okay, from here we're going to showcase whether they are under the red, the yellow, or the green. What is the meaning? Red means they are actually very weak at it. They still need to do a lot of reference. Yellow, they are kind of okay. Green is good to go. Okay, this is the report that may be generated after they actually answering the questions, okay, online. Okay, they can actually, they don't need to do it live. They can actually do it when whenever they are free within the period. Okay, and for when students after students actually finish the exercises, okay, they generate a report. Okay, so from here you can see that we actually students can actually use these reports. Okay, that's the main purpose of this intention. This is to help them to recognize their weaknesses and their strength. If let's say they are weak at a certain items, maybe it's if they can understand it themselves, solve it themselves, that's fine. If they have difficulty to actually understand it, okay, maybe it's time for them to actually look for someone to help them. Okay, for me, over the screen, I may be the other parts of the world, and I understand that there are some participants actually participate from India. Hello, hello. Okay, and it's actually quite impossible for me to guide you from Malaysia, but you can always go back and reach your teacher and approach them. Hey, I'm actually, oh sorry, cannot say hey, teacher, sir, I don't understand about this part. This is the report that I participate. Can you help me to identify or verify on these items? Okay, I hope that with this intensive revision course, it actually help you to achieve the better grade that you have, that you deserve. Okay, then that's end of my presentation. Okay, maybe we can open the floor to the floor for questions and answer. Okay.
Yes, there was a question earlier, Sam. What's the difference? How do you differentiate the scoring of A star and a grade A1? What do you mean by that?
Okay, so I also yes, thank you, Raymond. I also see the question. Can you differentiate the A star and the grade 9 to 1? This is from Rama Devi. Okay, thank you for your questions. Okay, this is due to UK. They have changed their grading system. From the past, the old IGCSE system, they actually give the grading according to A star, A, B, C, D, E, and U ungraded. Okay, so now in England, okay, Ofqua, which is the Ministry of Education in UK, they have revamped their grading system to 9 to 1. Okay, so just put it simple, the A and A star grade is grade 7, 8, and 9, as 9 as the highest. 1 will be the weakest. Yeah. Okay. So, but we have no idea whether this is going to change into the IGCSE grading system yet, but it's already implemented in UK for the other types of GCSE examination. Okay, I hope answer your question.
Yes, thank you, Sam. Maybe this would be a good time to invite Dr. Yi to join us again for any Q&As that both of you may have come up with.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the common question will be if let's say there's errors and omission when answering the questions, will there be any marks? Will the marks will be deducted for making an error or omission? So the answer is that there will be no marks deducted for errors and omission that you made. And one more question before I pass back to Sam. So another question will be on the using of the terminology, the specific terms. Like I mentioned just now, for example, like bad debts, you're supposed to use a new term, recover debts. Yeah, so your answer should be clear and unambiguous. So it's very clear. So to avoid all this, right, you should, as far as possible, memorize all the new terms. And if let's say for questions involving evaluation, where you need to give your opinion or pro and con to test your general knowledge, So some could be beyond the scope of your syllabus. So like just now I mentioned, instead of issuing check or bank transfer, can I do a standing instruction or the auto transfer? For example, my hire purchase payment for my car, I do a auto payment every month. So this will test how you apply your knowledge and understanding. Sometimes could be beyond the scope of the syllabus. So yeah, so you have to explain something that's sensible. So you make a auto payment. Of course, there'll be a lack of control. Yeah, so there could be a system error. So they still need to have a check and balance where someone still go back to concept of bank reconciliation. You must make sure payment has been made and also make sure payment has not been wrongly made. So this will involve your own evaluation. If let's say the question involve asking your opinion or comments, which could be beyond the scope of the syllabus. Yeah. So I think I'll pass back to Sam.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Yi. Okay. I received another question. Okay. Do you give feedback to guardians or parents about the progress of the students? Okay. As I mentioned earlier in my presentation, okay, students are required to do exercises while online. After that, I will able to generate a report. Okay, just like what I've showed, there's a red color, yellow color, and green color. Okay, so this report will be sent back to the students. They will receive it via their account, their within the help LMS account to read it. Then from there, they can actually identify their strengths and weaknesses. Okay, according to topics and items. Okay, thank you for your question.
Okay.
Okay, thank you to
any other questions?
the Dato Chan, okay, for your question.
All right. Sam, do you have any questions to bring up yourself following what Dr. Yi has said?
So I believe a lot of students are actually worried because of the COVID-19 virus, okay, and the previous cancellations of the IGCSE examination this year during the May-June examination sessions, okay. And by now, until first week of August, you should have started registering yourself for the upcoming October-November examination. Okay, if you haven't register for examination, you better get there ready. Okay, and more around the world, everybody are actually staying at home. Okay, didn't go to a class or actually attend classes via online using Zoom, using Google Meet. Okay, or a lot more other devices, but that will be depends on the learning, okay, method of learning that you have. Okay, if let's say that you think that previously you didn't benefit much from your lessons, or why don't you consider our this intensive revision courses here? Okay, so a little or more or less or whatever that to help you identify your strength, okay, to prepare you better for your examination. Okay, that's all what I want to say.
Okay, how about you, Dr. Yi? Anything to share? Your mic, Dr. Yi.
Okay. So, or maybe we pass it back to Raymond, if let's say you have anything for the from the Help University.
Yes, we do. But before we start on that, let me just remind our listeners here today that these revision sessions will be starting in the early part of August. And for the accounting paper, it will be run on Saturdays and Sundays from 7 to 10 p.m. for 3 months and will be taught by Dr. Yi. For the maths paper, it'll be run on Wednesdays and Fridays from 7 to 10 p.m. and be taught by Sam Locke. And the additional maths paper will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays, again from 7 to 10 p.m. So, following that, if you are interested, please sign up with us. And if you get, again, I'll read out the fees that we're charging for this: 1,250 per course. But if you sign up for 2 or 3, for 2 you'll get a 5% rebate, and for 3 you'll get a 10% rebate. My colleague, Mr. David Tai, is willing to share some further information with you. David?
Thank you, Raymond. I'm now sharing with you about how you guys going to, if you need further information. I believe Sam and Dr. Yu have briefed you some so-called tips how you can improve your performance in the exam. So, but I believe you might have a lot of information or questions to ask. You can try to email me anything that you would like to know, or WhatsApp me for further information. Okay, there is a QR code. This is my contact, so that you can scan. You can get all my informations or contact email through by scanning this code. Okay.
Okay.
If you would like to apply, there is a form for you to fill up, and also you all you need is just scan this QR code, fill up your information, for example, your name, your email address, your contact number, so that we can keep in touch with you to provide further information that you need. Okay. There is also a registration form for you to fill up if you feel like uh, you would like to sign up for this course. You just fill up this form, scan by scanning this code, and you can register uh, by paying the fees 1,250. Then you can start the course in August. Okay. So if you need further information, we have a website for you to look for. You just log into our website or scan this QR code. You can get more information or further information about this course. Okay. So with that, I thank you, and of course, I wish you all the best and good luck. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, David. Before you all run off, we have some interesting information from you now. Help University has been giving out millions and millions of ringgit every year in forms of scholarships and bursaries. So, with that, I would like to invite my colleague from the Customer Marketing Department, Mr. Greg D'Souza, to share some information with you about our upcoming scholarships and bursary. Greg, could you please?
Yes, thank you very much, Raymond. And first of all, let me congratulate each of you for your presence this afternoon. I'm sure you are excited with the information shared via this virtual preview IGCSE intensive review session. Now, after your IGCSE exams, now what would be your next step? You would definitely will be looking at some form of the pre-university programs, and then subsequently into your undergraduate programs. Now, for your pre-university programs, before I talk about the scholarship itself, I'd like to share with you one of the pre-university programs that we have at HELP is the A-level programs. Apart from that, we also have our diploma programs as well as our American degree programs, whereby you can proceed from the IGCSE platform, O-levels platform, into these pre-universities or diploma programs. Now, apart from the A levels that we have, we also have got two other programs, which is actually the UK programs that are the University of Derby and the University of London programs. Now, these programs are available for you. It's the best of British education, and we are proud to be associated with the University of Derby as well as the University of London. Now, going back to the purpose of me speaking to you this afternoon, we have got scholarships. As you can see from our scholarships here, we have got what we call the degree programs into our diploma programs into our degree programs. We have our foundation programs into our degree programs, and we have standalone bursaries or scholarships for the University of Derby, the University of London, our help programs, which are actually the business programs, the IT programs, the early childhood education, TESOL, psychology, law, and also we apart from the scholarships that we make available to our students here, right, who's joining us, we also have bursaries. These bursaries are tactical marketing bursaries. It's a one-off thing whereby where you join us at a particular intake, we will give you a bursary of between 10% to 30% or 5,000, whichever is higher. These are type of bursaries. Like for example, TESOL, we can see TESOL there. For this year itself, students who join our TESOL program, our undergraduate program in TESOL, they receive a bursary of 20,000, which is spread over 3 years. Now, apart from this thing, if you look at the UOL, we have, if you join our UOL for the first year, you get a bursary of 30% haircut of your first year's fees. We also have got industrial partners, whereby if you come from a particular industry or institutions to institutions or industrial partners, we give them a special bursary. That means students who come from this particular platform, they could be children of employees in a particular industry. Or if you come from an institution, right, a local institution or a foreign institution where we have some form of collaboration, there will be a special bursary given to such students. So these are some of the bursaries and scholarships which are available to all those students who are joining Help University or Help Academy for their programs. If you are strongly in the sporting field, we have got special bursaries for you as well. Okay, these are some of the bursaries that's given to our students to recognize their contribution in the world of sports. We also have got scholarships given to those people who are actively involved in some form of corporate social responsibilities. These scholarships, as usual, it range from 30% to 100%. It depends on the type of platform you come from, the type of sporting activities you're involved in, or the type of involvement you are in the corporate social responsibility sector. So with this, I would like to invite all our listeners here, right? If you are interested, do visit our websites. All the scholarships are available in our websites. You can log into our website. The websites will give you the information of all our scholarships in detail. And also feel free to call us. You have that QR code, which my colleague David shared with you just now. And we will get back to you. And our counselors, our professional counselors, will be more than willing to guide you to throw some light on the programs that's available at Help University, Help Academy. Help University is not only a university that is strong in giving all sorts of scholarship, but we are strong in academic excellence. So with this, I hand over back to my colleague Raymond. Raymond, thank you very much. You can take over from here. Have a nice day, everybody.
Thank you so much, Greg, for sharing with us that information. For everyone tuning in today, I'm saying thank you for spending an hour plus with us and finding out a little bit more about Help University and our upcoming revision program for the IGCSE, Maths, Accounts, and additional Maths papers. Now, for any further information, please get in touch with my colleague, Mr. David Tai. His information was in the flyer above we shared just now, the yellow flyer. So with that, I would say thank you, everybody. Have a good weekend. See you all soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you, everyone.